KSC presents. After hiking the shores of Lake Superior, a mother and son said they exposed an internet hoax. It was 3 a.m. on a nearly deserted island, and two hikers were badly lost. Roger Dickey and his mother Ellie Talburtt had been exploring Michigan's Isle Royale, the least visited national park in the United States, and were trying to recover the trail in the island's murky and bewildering woods. This was not what they had in mind for a mother-son getaway, no matter how good a story it would make if things turned out okay. It had brought them there, and into this rather dicey situation was something called Moose Balter, kind of geological matryoshka. Here's what makes Moose Balter special from the outside in. Lake Superior is the world's largest freshwater lake, and its largest island is Isle Royale, whose largest lake is called Siskiwit, whose largest island is called Ryan. According to Wikipedia, at least, Ryan Island is home to a seasonal pond called Moose Flats that, when flooded, contains its own island, Moose Balter. This makes it the largest island in the largest lake, on the largest island in the largest lake, on the largest island in the largest lake in the world. Pity it's not a Greenland, it could have gone all the way. Mother and son made it out alive, but it wasn't because they stumbled on a geological and hydrological anomaly that they could use to get their bearings. They couldn't have, because despite what the internet has to say, Moose Balter almost surely doesn't exist. Let's give Roger Dickey some credit, though. He actually knew that Moose Balter was some kind of hoax before trekking across Isle Royale. But when he first heard about it, the San Francisco-based entrepreneur knew where he was taking his next trip. "I just like finding extreme features on maps," he says, and he's prepared to travel far and wide to see them for himself. There is little that easy about getting to and around Isle Royale. The pair got there by seaplane and stayed overnight at a lodge on Rock Harbor. They caught a water taxi to Malone Bay, the embarkation point closest to Siskiwit Lake. Dickey brought along a canoe, which they hafted to the lake and then paddled 2.5 miles to Ryan Island, which is barely a mile long. Moose Balter may have been off the table, but that wasn't going to stop them from visiting the largest island in the largest lake on the largest island in the largest lake in the world. Even if it ended up being a brief stop, Dickey and Talburtt did, however, consider creating Moose Balter by pouring some water around the rock. All told, Dickey doesn't recommend heading to Ryan Island should you find yourself on Isle Royale. It requires a tremendous amount of effort and frankly is not without risk. Very few people visit the Isle Royale complex at all. Dickey estimates seeing between 20 and 30 people while on the outermost part of the island near the lodge, and almost none of them would venture much farther inland. They saw none of the island's wolves and just one moose. After canoeing back from Ryan Island, mother and son got well and truly lost. At some point during their 18 miles of hiking, they lost the trail. In their genuine terror, it was, by then the middle of the night, they realized that their best shot was to find the coastline, since following that was guaranteed. Eventually, to get them back to the lodge, finally, they found the park ranger's house, and had no choice but to knock on his door until he woke up. They didn't know it, but they were still 10 miles from the lodge, and would have missed their flight off the island had they not been driving back. "I don't think anyone in the world has researched Moose Balter as much as me," says Dickey. He's almost definitely right. So when he contacted Atlas Obscura to share his findings, we took the page down. Let anyone else get lost chasing this phantom anomaly. Dickey is pretty sure that the second Wikipedia editor, who perpetuated the earlier misinformation on Moose Balter, had been genuinely duped rather than a conspirator. He was hardly the only one. It's probably the same for the Atlas Obscura user who created the Moose Balter page. Let's be honest about the stakes here. They are not high. Nonetheless, the case of Moose Balter attests to the ease with which a hoax or a prank, or harmless goofing off, can penetrate our official discourse and become a kind of real. This is all part of why Dickey felt so fiercely determined to visit Moose Balter, or at least solve its mystery. There's something exciting, he says, about being a modern-day explorer, about arriving at one of the world's few remaining unknown destinations. And so, perhaps after developing a safer contingency plan for getting lost, Dickey will return to Orion Island and keep searching. He may not be able to help it. After all, he says, he can't be 100% sure that it doesn't exist without exploring every square foot of the island, which is very densely forested. He's just the explorer for the job. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.